The Dallas Cowboys are at a critical juncture in their 2024 season. And the decision by team owner Jerry Jones to buy, instead of sell, at the trade deadline only adds to the uncertainty surrounding the franchise. With a 3-5 record, a starting quarterback, Dak Prescott, on the verge of an injured reserve designation, and an expiring contract for head coach Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys face a grim reality that few around the NFL thought would lead to a trade for new talent. The trade deadline moves. Despite the circumstances, Jerry Jones opted to trade for wide receiver Jonathan Mingo, sending a 2025 fourth-round draft pick to the Carolina Panthers in exchange for the former second-round pick and a 2025 seventh-round pick. The trade was met with skepticism across the league, with some questioning whether Mingo's underwhelming tenure in Carolina could translate into success with the Cowboys. Mingo has struggled with consistency, particularly with drops and lackluster playmaking, which raises doubts about his ability to make an impact on a team with championship aspirations. On the surface, this move indicates a belief from Jones that the Cowboys are still within reach of a playoff spot and that the addition of a new talent could spark the offense. However, Jones' insistence on buying, rather than positioning the team for the future, highlights a more emotional approach to team management. Jones has long been a believer in turning around seasons with a flurry of moves and hoping for a storybook ending. But his optimism is starting to clash with reality. The reality of trading for Mingo. Mingo's performance in Carolina has been underwhelming. While he was drafted for his physical traits, 6'2", 220 pounds, a 4.46-second 40-yard dash, his performance on the field hasn't matched the potential his measurables suggest. Mingo has struggled with drops, 6 in total, and has seen his role in the Panthers' offense decrease. With his snap count dropping significantly this season, his catch rate has also dropped from 53% last year to 46.2% this year, further highlighting his issues with consistency and execution. Despite the physical tools, Mingo has failed to develop into the deep threat the Panthers hoped for. He has failed to become a consistent target, and while his struggles might be attributed to poor coaching and lack of confidence, the fact remains that he has not lived up to his potential, something the Cowboys will need to assess quickly, especially with the looming uncertainty surrounding head coach Mike McCarthy's future. Mingo may benefit from playing with a better quarterback like Dak Prescott. But even with Prescott's potential return, the fit within the system remains in question. What this means for the Cowboys. Jones' decision to acquire Mingo reflects a belief that the team is still in contention for a playoff spot. Despite being just 2 games below .500 and facing serious questions about the direction of the franchise. However, the Cowboys are already behind in the NFC East, and Prescott's injury only exacerbates the situation. With McCarthy's future uncertain, the team may find itself caught in a cycle of instability, a revolving door of coaches, schemes, and philosophies, while trying to hold onto an elusive playoff berth. In a perfect world, Mingo would turn out to be the spark the Cowboys need. He could develop into a reliable complementary piece to Pro Bowler CeeDee Lamb, providing a deep threat or red zone presence. But that requires Mingo to overcome his flaws, improving his hands, consistency, and understanding of route running, while also fitting into a system that could very well change again if McCarthy is replaced. Ultimately, Jones' strategy of buying instead of selling is rooted in hope, but it's increasingly at odds with the harsh realities of the Cowboys' situation. The team's future is uncertain, and the move for Mingo, like many of Jones' decisions, suggests a reliance on short-term optimism rather than long-term planning. The Cowboys may live to fight another day, but if they miss the playoffs, the fallout will likely be significant. Conclusion. The Cowboys' decision to buy at the trade deadline is emblematic of Jerry Jones' all-in mindset. But it raises questions about the franchise's future direction. With Prescott injured and McCarthy's job in jeopardy, the Cowboys have little margin for error. Mingo's potential could be a piece in the puzzle, but his underwhelming production in Carolina suggests that the hope for a storybook ending may be a stretch. If the Cowboys miss the playoffs this year, they will need a dramatic change in philosophy, and perhaps personnel, to get back on track for 2025.